Hey there everyone, my name is Waffles the Asian Yenber and I play One Piece in Japan. Now that the OP-05 meta is almost over, I'd like to take a look back at the top 10 most impactful cards in the set. Now of course these are my opinions from playing through the meta, so if you disagree with any of my placements, let me know in the comments down below. Starting with number 10, we've got Gamma Knife. This is a purple event that costs 2 and Dawn -1. You give an opponent's character minus 5,000 power for the turn, and essentially this is what allows red-purple Law to deal with bigger threats and continue controlling board presence in the endgame. While the Law deck is very good at going wide, it would lose a lot of steam in the mid-game if it weren't for this card. Thankfully it came out as a common, so it was easy for Law players to add a playset to their deck. Number 9 is another form of support, this time for Sakazuki decks. Hound Blaze is a 2-cost event that gives a leader or character plus 3,000 power and sends a 2-cost or lower character to the bottom of its owner's deck. Black decks, and especially Navy decks, have a lot of cost lowering effects, so Hound Blaze provides a lot of benefits to blue-black Sakazuki decks as it allows them to swing for at least 8k and maintain board control, all for the price of a measly 2 Dawn. While it can provide benefits in other blue decks, it really fits in exactly the right niche for a blue-black Navy deck. Now number 8 is significantly more rare. I'm talking Gear 5 Luffy. One of the things purple decks are great at is ramping up Dawn quickly, and Gear 5 Luffy provides the perfect way to capitalize on that by giving the player who uses it an extra turn. While it costs you your board, you can swing with whatever you have before playing him. He's also the only card in the game that gives an extra turn, so most opponents don't really play around him. It's easy to get your opponent to overextend and then break them with the extra turn. Number 7 is Blue Borsalino. Blue Borsalino basically functions in the same way for Sakazuki decks as a 9-cost Mihawk does in other blue decks. With the cost down effects, Borsalino is a cheaper Mihawk with almost as much power and searchable with brand new. There's not too much else to say about him other than he's a great powerhouse. Number 6 is where things jump up a bit. The brand new leader Enel tends to replace Katakuri for Big Mom decks. When his life hits 0, he gets to put another life card down by trashing a card in his hand. Yellow already had ways to give themselves more life, but Enel's ability means that unless you can hit him for game twice in one turn, he's gonna be hanging in there. Yellow was a strong color in OP-04, and thanks to this leader, it continues to be a strong color in OP-05. Number 5 is Blocker Rebecca. When you play her, you get to add a black card from your trash with a cost between 3 to 7, and then you can play a black card with 3 or less from your hand. While she might not seem like much on the surface, she became a staple in every black deck. Rebecca allows black decks to recycle a lot of powerful cards and provides a free on-play effect for whatever 3-cost or lower card you play. That is a lot of value, and on top of that, she provides black yet another good blocker. Number 4 is Rob Lucci. This is one that really helped to make Sakazuki as good as he is. On play, you put 3 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck, and then you can KO 1 card with 2 or less cost, and another with 1 or less cost. When you combine that with other Navy effects, that's an easy 2 cards KO'd. Rob Lucci being able to KO 2 cards each time he's played is huge, and he can be recycled with Rebecca, so Sakazuki decks will often be ready to make use of this fashionable dude. Number 3 is another leader. Purple Luffy has absolutely dominated the metagame, and that's for one simple reason. He ramps up Dawn better than any other purple leader. That allowed players to add a ton of generically good purple cards from other sets, which then meant that players had a versatile toolbox to work with and were able to pop out strong cards faster than any other leader. That being said, he's only number 3 because, while he's an incredible card, there's arguably a different purple card that really allows this to work. If you've paid attention to prices, then you probably know where this is going. Number 2 is Blocker Captain Kidd. Captain Kidd's effect activates once per turn whenever you use a Dawn minus skill. It adds a Dawn back to your field active. That means that while Luffy ramps up quickly, the Dawn minus costs that are innate to purple won't slow you down. Players can take advantage of these effects without losing momentum, and the reason this is higher than Luffy is that while Luffy is the best mono purple leader, Captain Kidd is a must run at 4 in any deck with purple cards. And you probably already knew what was going to be number 1. It's Sakazuki. Sakazuki allows players to trash a card to draw a card once per turn, which is already a great way to make sure that you maintain your resources, but then he also lowers the cost of an opponent's character by 1 whenever he attacks. It's not the main way of lowering costs for Sakazuki, but it's free. On top of all that, he combines two colors that have great synergy with each other. Black Navy is all about removal, and blue is all about control, which adds up to total board control. Purple Luffy was a dominant deck, but Sakazuki is the metagame, and absolutely had the biggest impact on how people built and piloted their decks. Now before we finish up, I do have some honorable mentions for cards that technically came out in the OP-05 metagame, but are not in that booster pack. We've got the other Captain Kid from Starter Deck 10, which is another must run in purple. On play and when he attacks, Dawn -1 to give your leader 1k attack until your next turn. That makes your opponents have to adjust to hitting a 6k leader, which is great for hurting decks that go wide. The green Uda leader adds even more consistency to the already consistent film engine. Whenever you attack, if she has one or more Dawn attached, flip the top card of the deck over. If it's a film card, guess what? You draw it. There are a good handful of events that benefit from your leader being Uda, but I also want to highlight I'm Invincible or Watashi wa Saikyo because this is one of the best events for the Uda deck. For 3 costs, you can set an Uda as active again. That means your leader is your own win condition. The film deck already does a great job of going wide, so it'll whittle your opponent's defenses down. But Watashi wa Saikyo means that your opponent doesn't actually see how many attacks you can do, so a lot of times they'll usually miscalculate and think they're safe. But you're gonna hit them with another attack. Now that's it for me today. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. You can check out my meta-analysis I did for OP-04 on screen. I'm working on one for OP-05 when it drops in the English meta, as well as a ton of deck guides. If you're interested, let me know what deck you'd like to see first. Now I hope you have a good day, a good week, a good life, and I'm gonna be king of the pirates. See ya!